What's up, folks? Kevin Cox here. Hope you're all doing well in quarantine. Hope you're staying safe and healthy. Let's get right into today's workout. We're going to start off with some thoracic spine rotations and some side plank work. We're going to move on into some dead bug work, and we're going to nail that as our skill for the day. And then we're going to go into a little circuit. It's going to have 3 exercises, 2 circuits, and you're going to run through each of those 2 to 3 times depending on how much work you want to get done today. I'll try to show you progressions and regressions as we go along. Stay with me. I'm going to set a timer for each exercise, and I want you to stick with it. That way you can rewind the video and go back and run through these circuits again. We're going to start off on our knees. You want a nice soft surface underneath you as you're doing this. We're going to spread the knees out as wide as they can go, and I'm going to walk the arms forward until I've got most of my weight on my elbows. I'm going to go ahead and take my right elbow to the center line, and I'm going to take the opposite arm and bring it around my back here, fingers facing up. I want to turn my head, look up to the ceiling, roll the shoulder back. After I look up, squeeze that muscle to the center line, shoulder down, head down. Eyes up, shoulder rolls back, squeeze, 3, 2, 1, down, back to the center line. Try not to press up on that bottom arm as we do this. 2, 1, back to the center line. Let's do 3 more of those. So I'm pulling a bit back with this shoulder on the ground. 3, 2, 1, rotate back to center. I'm not pushing off of this ground arm. I'm staying on a nice horizontal plane. Rotate back to center, 1 more. Eyes up, shoulder rolls back. 3, 2, 1, rotate back to center, switch arms. So we want this arm right in the center of the body. Go ahead and look up, roll the shoulder back, 1, and down. I notice my weight shifting back, and I bring myself back over the elbow. Head turns, then the shoulder turns. 3, 2, 1, rotate back to center. We want to keep our low back stable during this and try to move exclusively from your thoracic spine. Rotating back to center. 3 more. 3, 2, 1, rotate back. Head and shoulder. 3, 2, 1, 1 more. Head first, shoulder, 2, 1, back to center. We're going to do a minute side plank on each side here. I'll give you variations after I start the clock to accommodate where you're at. Go ahead and put the bottom leg behind the top leg. I want you to drive through the heel of the bottom leg. We're going to start the clock here in 3, 2, 1. Lift up onto the elbow. And let's just hold it first. If you're not able to do this for the full minute, you can always come down to a knee here. If you want to make that harder, you're somewhere in between. You could do a knee and lift the top leg. Otherwise, you're on both feet. I do suggest that you have the feet staggered as opposed to having them stacked. So you can run back through this warm-up if you'd like. It will only benefit you. It'll just add time to your workout. I want you to try to keep the hips from sinking back. Drive the hips through. And we want to feel this underside lateral glute activated as we're in this position. I'm creating a little traction through this elbow on the floor toward my feet, getting the lat activated on that right arm. We're going to come down in 3, 2, 1. Let's go ahead and flip over to the other side. So again, traction on this elbow underneath, starting in 3, 2, 1. Up, clock's going. Again, I'm pressing the hips up as high as I can. I want to feel this glute medius active. I want to be driving my hips through like I'm finishing a deadlift. I've got tension on the lat underneath me here. As if you want to make this more difficult, you can go for 1 minute and 30 seconds. You can also lift this top leg and play around with different hip abduction exercises. You can also do hip flexion, extension, right? You could even do some axial rotation work here if you're so inclined. Generally, this is plenty of work on its own. I want to give you guys plenty of options. We got 10 seconds left to make this as difficult as you need it to be. 4, 3, 2, and 1. Come on down. So we're going to talk about how to dead bug today. And we're going to start off the dead bug in a regress position in an exercise called the McGill Curl Up. If you feel the back of your neck working too hard and it's kind of painful back there when you're doing this exercise, go ahead and back off and take a break from this. You need to go back and look at my videos on chin retractions to strengthen your deep cervical flexors before you're moving into the McGill Curl Up position. Go ahead and lay down, one leg bent, one leg straight, both legs are on the ground. Guys, when we're doing any kind of dead bug or curl up work, I want you to maintain a neutral spine. That means that you can get your hands under your low back. We're not flexing the lumbar spine, compressing the floor, and we're not creating an excessive arch where I can fit my whole hand easily under my back. A nice neutral spine just as you lay down. I might take a hand behind my back or my fingers underneath the back to feel if I am tucking my pelvis, if I am lumbar flexing in this position, and I want that feedback from my hand so that I can avoid doing that. So to start the McGill Curl Up, I want you to go ahead, either hand behind the back or hands straight up. Lift the chest up off the ground. We're gonna hold for 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Go down, switch, and up. So it's a 2-second break. It's a 10-second hold. We're going to do that 6 times to each side. 3, 2, 1, 2, 1, up. 10, 9. All right, so we're keeping the shoulder blades off of the ground by curling up, not by reaching the arms. And we keep the head off the ground. Down, switch, and up. 10, 9. Guys, what I want you really to take away from this McGill Curl Up position is that I'm not recruiting my pelvis to create abdominal tension here. Switch and up. 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Down, switch, and up. 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Down, switch, and up. At this point, you should start to feel the muscles of your abdominal wall starting to fire. Now is when I want you to move your breath into your diaphragm, or with your diaphragm, I should say. Inhale, you should see your stomach inflate. Exhale and come down, switch, and up. Now let's aim for 2 full breaths instead of 10 seconds as we continue holding this position. Switch and up. 2 full breaths. Inhale into your abdomen, into your low back. Exhale. Inhale. Exhale. Continue. Up. Inhale. We should feel the space around our pelvic bones filling out. Down, switch, and up. As we continue breathing here. I am pulling tension against my breath, down and in. And as I exhale, I'm pushing the diaphragm down and out. Switch legs. Let's do one more to each side. Inhale. Exhale, push out. Exhale. One more to the other side. I may have ended us in an uneven place, but stick with me, even it out if you're better at counting than I am. Inhaling into that belly. Exhaling. Inhaling. And exhaling. At that point, you should really feel your abs starting to kick on. We're building a little heat at this point. I want you to go ahead. Let's use this tension that we were feeling in the abdomen. We're going to keep the shoulders grounded here, elbows straight. Fingers spread and hands reaching to the ceiling. Instead of the legs straight on here, I want the knees slightly out and the feet slightly in, not touching them. I want you to feel every vertebra contacting the ground from your scapular spine, or the top of your scapula, all the way down to your sacrum. We're not going to achieve this by tucking the hips to flatten the low back. We're going to expand the low back through our breath in this position. So the shoulders are anchored, feet are together, knees are wide. Take a deep breath into your abdomen, just as you were in the McGill Curl Up. I want you to think about your spine getting longer on the floor as you inhale. Guys, I don't want your squeezing to be the initiator of tension or how you bring yourself to fatigue in your abdominal exercises. I want your breath to help you create stabilization in your abdomen. Move the diaphragm down as you inhale. Feel the core inflate as you inhale. Exhale and try to maintain pressure in this region. Outward. Inhale. Exhale. Guys, if you're feeling this in your hip flexors right now, in your legs or your quads, I want you to reach out to me. Follow up with me after this video. That's not where we should be patterning this tension, ideally. Continue breathing, continue holding. At this point, you should really feel your core firing up. Exhale. Maybe you feel that your neck is craning back here. We're still holding this tension here, guys. If your neck is craning back, I want you to put a slight pillow underneath it. Keep moving your breath into your abdomen. Check yourself, poke yourself. Are there soft spots in your belly? Can you breathe into those spots? Exhale and come on down. Guys, that's how we're going to dead bug. When we use that move in the future, I want you to be really well trained in that position. Come back to this video in the future if you need help creating the proper tension in your abdomen, if you're otherwise feeling it in your hip flexors. We're going to go ahead and move on to the circuit portion of our workout. Just pulling up my notes here. So we're going to go ahead and do an exercise that I call side to side 1, 2, 3. I'm going to start on one end of my mat or one end of my room. I'm going to lift up my right arm and my left leg, standing on my right leg here. And I'm going to go 1, 2, jump. 1, 2, 3. 1, 2, 3. 1, 2, 3. 1, 2, 3. 1, 2, 3. Stay with me. 1, 2, 3. 1, 2, 1, 2, 3. 1, 2, 3. Another 30 seconds. 1, 2, 3. 1, 2, 1, 2. Doesn't have to be a big jump. Use that core tension that we just brought on through that dead bug. 2, 3, 2, 3, 2, 3, 2, 3, 2, 3. 10 seconds. 3, 2, 3, 2, 3, 2, 3, 2, 3, 2, 3. Take a break. Good work. So you're going to come back to that exercise as the first of this 3-part circuit. We're going to go from that position back onto the ground into your side plank rotation. Same rules apply for your side plank. If you want to do it on the knee again, you're welcome to. But for those of us on both feet, we're here. Hips are up, driving through. And we're going to rotate. Notice my feet are moving. Guys, we're here for 45 seconds. Slow, controlled rotations. Ooh, my mat is not padded enough. Continue on here. All the way into a full rotation. The feet shoulder, ear, all move together. 5 seconds. 3, 2, 1, other side. Going 2, 1, we're up, 45. Make sure your hips are driving through, hip is up, rotate. You guys know this is one of my favorite exercises. Full rotation. We're getting a little internal, external rotation of the shoulder. Under load. 20 seconds left. Keep your breath moving as you do that. I can't rotate as far on this shoulder as I can on the other one, but I'm still keeping my ear, shoulder, and hip in line, and I'm moving those feet. I see a lot of people staying stationary on their feet when they do this. Avoid doing that. Take a break. We're moving on to the next exercise in the circuit. As soon as it pulls up on my iPad, it keeps locking. So we're gonna come into a split squat. Guys, find a surface that is about at knee height. I could use this couch, it's a little low for me. I'm gonna use this table. We're gonna do 12 reps per leg. Guys, you can shorten those reps and add weight if you'd like, or maybe you're still building up your strength here, in which case you're welcome to do 3 to 5 repetitions. My left foot's gonna start forward, my right leg's gonna go back. I'm gonna bring the ankle to the edge of the bench, table, whatever it is. This knee stays right on top of my ankle here, y'all. Here we go. Down. 1, 2, we're going to 12. 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Trying to load this front leg entirely. Push through your heel to squeeze your glute. 9, 10, 12. Go ahead and switch right away. Kick that other leg up there and go. 2. Almost lost my balance. 6, 7, 8. Think about pushing that knee behind you. Might have lost count, I'm pretty sure that's 10. 11, one more. 12, good work. Guys, I want you to run back through those 3 exercises. You can rewind the video. 1, 2, 3, with the jump, side plank rotation, and your split squat to each side. Repeat that 3 times, and then move on to this next portion of the circuit. All right. So we're gonna go into our skater lunge. I've been pushing it a little hard with my trail running, so if my form looks limited here, that could be why. We're gonna go a skater lunge, do a skater lunge, excuse me, an isometric lunge to follow that up, and a plank walkout with an optional bird dog component in it. So to start, if you guys have weights, even a couple cans of soup will work for this, otherwise body weight's fine. You can hold those in each hand. I'm stepping back so you can hopefully get a better angle of me here. With the skater lunge, I want to control the range of motion. As long as I can keep that heel on the ground, you're good. If this heel's lifting up off the ground as your knee's driving forward, that's not true dorsiflexion, and you're going way too far, you're going to end up with some knee damage. Let's go ahead and jump into it here. So it starts off like a hinge, and I'm going to bend the knee here to a depth that I feel comfortable and stand up. Some of you may be able to get really low. Hinging, stay square with the hips to the floor, bend this knee, stand up. We're really loading up the glute in the posterior chain here. 3, we're gonna go to 8 per side. Again, tracking the knee over the toes. 4, we don't want the knee falling in. We don't want the foot rolling off to the side either. That's 5. Hinging, bending, 6, 7, let's do one more. Inhaling as I go down. 8, switch legs. Plenty for body weight, but for those of you that are in really good shape, go ahead and grab a couple cans of soup. Even a couple 5-pound weights would be great. So again, we're hinging. We're here. Whoop. 1. Got my own things I need to work on, as you can see. 2. Hinge and bend. 3. 4. 5. 6. 7. And 8. I got some knee valgus there. All right, so following that skater lunge, I want you guys to go ahead, drop right into an isometric lunge. So whatever leg you did first, go ahead and put that leg forward. We're holding here for 1 minute. I want you to get as close to the ground as you can with this back knee. And I want you to make sure that you're looking at your knee tracking over your outer 3 toes, okay? So we're pushing down through the ground with the front heel. I don't want you to think that you're resting here passively. Of course you're not, this is burning. And I want you to keep the ball of that big toe down. But again, the emphasis is really pushing through the floor with this front heel, and you're really gonna feel this posterior side, your glute turn on. We're already at 35 seconds. Fight the tendency to lift up higher. Keep it a nice vertical torso here. I'm not crunched forward if I can help it. Hold for another 12. Yes, it burns. 4, 3, 2, and 1. Go ahead and switch legs. Left leg forward for me in this case. Dropping the back knee, knees staying over the ankle. Go ahead and drop. And again, putting most of the weight in this front leg and thinking about pushing the earth down, trying to imprint a hole in the floor with this front heel. Now everybody's gonna have a little bit more valgus on one side than the other. That is just the knee falling in or the ankle collapsing inward. What I really want you to work for here, again, is depth, but thinking about pushing through the heel into the earth, make a hole where that heel is. Getting down nice and low, 25 seconds left. Remember, don't go too low if you're recognizing that after 3 rounds of this, you're not going to be able to walk tonight. Finding a good, happy medium between being close to the ground and up in the air. 4, 3, 2, and 1. Guys, we're going to go ahead and come right into a plank walkout position. Find yourself on the mat, feet wide, hands close together. You're gonna walk your hands out on a 45-degree angle in front of you. I'm gonna flip my watch around here so it doesn't get in the way of my wrist. Okay, so regular plank position here, folks, with that wide stance in the legs. All right, from here, I'm gonna start the clock and we're walking out. Let your hips and shoulders get closer to the ground. Maybe give it a hold out here. Check your hips, make sure they're nice and tight. Breathing into our abdomen. Whenever we're doing kind of plank work, abdominal work. And if you're feeling this in your low back, you're going too far, push up into your mid back. If you're feeling this in your low back, that should help kick your core on. So just walking back and forth here, you're working at your own pace. We're going for 45 seconds. We got 12 left. Keep moving. 2, 1, take a break. Guys, I want you to run through that split, the skater lunge, the isometric lunge, and this plank walkout 2 to 3 times. preferably 3. And then you're gonna go ahead and do this little cool down with me. So if you followed one of my last 2 videos, we did do a legs up exercise, and that is how you will end today's cool down. But for now, I want you to drop down onto your stomach, and we're gonna do a couple press ups in this position. So head's looking forward, I'm pressing through the hands, I'm coming right about here. If you can get your elbows straight, that's great. If not, you don't need to push this. We're just doing a little extension in the spine. I know a lot of you are probably working from home, or at least at home, and so there's a lot of sitting going on. Make sure that you're countering the effects of being in spinal flexion all day. All right. So you can do about 5 to 10 of these. I'm gonna do 5. You can pause it if you want to do more. From here, I'm going to go ahead and come into a lat stretch. I'm going to go to the carpet because it's easier on my knees. I'm going to go to a lat stretch. So it's like a child's pose position, elbows down on the ground. I'm going to reach my hand forward and then I'm going to wiggle my fingers as far forward as they'll go. Breathe into your abdomen, breathe into your back. Exhale, wiggle the fingers a little further forward. Breathing deeply. Maybe some of you have done yoga before. And we've talked about this at PTF too, but use your inhale, let it build tension in your body, and use the exhale to release it. Go ahead and switch sides. Reaching my hand forward here. On my exhale, stretching things out. Knees are nice and wide. My butt isn't quite to my heels, okay, so a little bit of my weight is forward. Go ahead and walk this back. Should have set my iPad screen to be on the whole time. Turn it off on me. And get Siri involved with this workout. From here, let's go ahead and come into that T-spine rotation in which we started. So, wide knees, elbow to the center line, bring the weight forward, shoulder is effectively over the elbow, head turns and the shoulder turns. Squeeze that to the midline and back down. Get this hand up in the back as high as you can go. Guys, should go unsaid, but if anything's painful in this workout, well, it's probably too late for me to be saying that. But if anything's ever painful in any of your workouts, you back off, do less. If a movement is sharp, you're getting joint pain, back off, email me, let me know, and I'll help clear it up for you. Let's do one more rotation here for 5. And back down to center, switching arms. One shoulder will surely feel less mobile than the other in this exercise. Something that most of us lack in our society is the ability to rotate through the thoracic spine. We create a lot of compensations to move through that transverse plane, including rotation of what should be the otherwise stable lumbar spine. We don't want to see the lumbar spine expressing most of the rotation in the spine. Getting redundant. Let's do one more. Head turns, shoulder comes, pinch it back. Congratulations on getting through another workout, and thank you all for sticking with me. If you are so inclined, you don't have little kids running around the house and you have a little extra time, I want you to take 15 to 20 minutes to go ahead and find yourself in a supine 90-90 position. So that's on your back. This is a really good surface for me, as it is about the length of my femur from the greater trochanter here down to my knee, or the back of the knee, more accurately. And you'll see why that matters in a second here as I get my feet up. And I want to scoot my tailbone as close to the surface that I'm putting my feet on as possible. If you feel like your knees have a tendency to fall off to the sides, I want you to go ahead and take a belt, string, a dog leash, whatever, wrap it around your knees right here to keep it from falling out excessively to the sides. In this position, I just want you to hang out, and I want things to come into a parasympathetic state. So I want you to let go. If you have any meditation practice, now's the time to bring that in. Bring your arms out to a 45-degree angle at the sides, and I want you to breathe gently with no cues on diaphragmatic breath or anything like that, and relax. We all need a little bit of it right now. I'm gonna come out of this position. You hang out there for 15 to 20 minutes. Thanks again for working out with me, and I'll see you guys next week.